Hi everybody, this is Cheychuu. Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys all doing? I hope you guys are doing alright. It's in the morning right now. It's really cold, as you can see. Spotting my little Rilakuma onesie. It's really cute. Anybody who knows me knows that I really love Rilakuma, or anything that looks cute or weird in this type of fashion. Anywho, I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, night, wherever you guys may be. I hope you guys are making sure to protect your energy and making sure to take care of yourself, you know, especially with all these heavy energies that are going around. The whole world is feeling it. Like I said in my previous video about a week ago, that we would be having a lot of energy shifts, and I am definitely feeling it, especially since the Aries full moon is still in process right now. Mind you, I believe that the Aries full moon, which is called the Hunter's moon, is supposed to last at least 14 days. So we are still feeling the effects of it right now, and of course, since we're starting to feel effects of going into Scorpio season and amongst other planets that are, you know, doing their work up there. But anywho, it's like I am so tired, guys, so please bear with me. I feel very drained of any type of energy, which is why I've been very spotty with updating or uploading new videos. A lot of people, I've noticed, have been taking quite a break away from social media and from postings. So if you feel guided to really not be so motivated or kind of drained of energy, just know that that's quite normal, and that a lot of people are actually feeling the exact same thing. People are trying to you know, raise their vibration right now, and start to get that motivational kick that we need in order to get started really on our creative endeavors or whatever it may be, you know, that you feel like you're being guided towards. So today I kind of wanted to keep it a little fun, just a little bit different, especially away from all these energies, especially since Halloween is coming up really soon, which is one of my favorite holidays as well. But as I was saying, I was going to talk a little bit about my previous experiences with the supernatural, as far as that goes, like me growing up. And I was thinking to myself and asking my spirit guides, like, what timeline should I start with in order to you know, talk about my journey as far as that goes. And then they told me that it really starts from before you came here, but if we had to start on a timeline, let's start from when you were born, because that's pretty crucial to why you have the gifts that you do have. And I'm just going to put this out here, that if there's somebody out here who relates to what I'm talking about and kind of a roundabout way of like how it applies to your life, like, feel more than free or welcome to comment below. And just to let you know, I have little notes or channel messages that are in my description box. If you guys want to check out my Instagram or any of that fashion, everything is in the link below in the description box. So just want to put that out there. And if this doesn't like resonate, or just this type of stuff like scares you, I just want to let you know that there's nothing scary about the paranormal. There's really nothing to fear. I understand, coming from someone that grew up with paranormal experiences, it can be very terrifying when you do not understand, and it can be very terrifying when things are happening to you that isn't happening to other people in your life. So it can be very isolating and feeling kind of alone, you know. So I totally understand, but I just want people to know that before I start talking of these experiences, that there's really nothing to fear, okay? Yes, it sounds scary. Hollywood likes to make everything seem scarier than it is, especially since we've been programmed to think that the paranormal is considered scary. There are dark and light aspects to the paranormal. However, there really is nothing to fear. There are beings, there are things that we cannot see on a daily basis here. But that doesn't mean that they don't exist. You know what I mean? That they still are there. It's just we're not able to see them with our two eyes, which is why the third eye is going to be very crucial of what I'm talking about right here, because mainly that's where you witness or see mainly most of your paranormal experiences, is through your third eye. That is where you're able to connect to the other side or different dimensions, etc., etc. Okay, okay, I had to stop the camera. Anywho, so let's roll back to when I was younger, when I was born, before I was born actually, because a lot of people don't know that it starts with, you know, the mother first, and exactly like how she's taking care of her body, how she's making sure to watch her health, you know, if she's, you know, has complications or problems during birth, or any type of that matter. And mind you, the women in my family, the feminine in my family, deal with a body function that that is passed down from generation to generation, and it has to do with our uterus, right? We are more prone to have endometriosis. We're more prone to have uterus like cysts or uterus lining issues. So it actually makes it a lot harder for us to bear children in our family. But everybody here that was born into our family from these women, it was a blessing for them to be here, because there was a lot of complications, first and foremost, for them to get here. And a lot of during my journey and through my research and stuff like that, and also with talking to my spirit guides, they led me to speak a little bit on the notion of miscarriages, and I'm gonna touch a little bit on that but not go too deep into it. But before my mother had me and my sister, she had a miscarriage. So they were expecting, you know, another soul into this world, but it turns out a lot of people, especially within, I'm gonna say more of the Yoruba, like Ifa type of way of thinking or belief system, where when a woman has a miscarriage, right, that soul that tries to come in through the world wasn't, it was trying to come into the world, but the mother wasn't able to provide a healthy temple and or vessel in order for it to come through, as far as like portal wise, right? Because your, you know, your sacred yoni is a portal. It's the key to life. It's the portal to life. But when she has a miscarriage, the same soul tries to come back, but in a different body, in a different form. So it turns out that women who do have a couple miscarriages, it's the same exact soul that's trying to come back over and over again. It's trying over and over again in order to be born into this world. So in a way, a lot of the belief is that a lot of these souls that dealt with miscarriages before they came into the world, hence the mother, they fought their way in order to get into this world, you know, as far as on a soul level. And that pretty much was the turning point for me, because not only did my mother have complications during pregnancy, she had complications during birth. It almost took a full 2 days in order for her to have me. I've heard women who've gone further than that. I've heard women who were shorter than that, but my mother was very complicated in order to have me. And then when I did come out, the umbilical cord was wrapped so tightly around my neck that I was having a near-death experience. I almost did not make it. I was going to be suffocated to death. So straight out the womb. And that also goes for my sister as well. My youngest sister, her umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck as well, so she fought her way in order to get here. So it's 333. 333 represents fertility, and the thing is that we're talking about that, an Empress energy. So as I was saying, my mother was having complications. I nearly died. I almost didn't make it, really. A lot of my family members who were there can actually like say or witness or bear witness to everything that was going on, especially my grandparents and my father. But yeah, so I came out fighting for my life. I ended up making it, you know, that's just why I'm here. But since then, since they brought me back home from the hospital, weird things started happening, first and foremost. So when they were like, you know, taking care of me, or they brought me home, especially to the place that they did, which was an apartment or whatever, but they had like, you know, those baby monitors, or those baby you know, those baby monitor speaker things that you can hear from a different room. Well, they would tell me stories about, like, when I'm in my crib or when I'm sleeping alone, they would hear whispers that are coming through the baby monitors and talking as if they're hearing like full-on conversations from people, and then they go and check on me in the crib, and then there's like no one in the room, it's completely silent, and then the whispers stop on the baby monitor. And we've had a couple of incidences, I don't know how to say that, incidents, there we go. We had a couple incidents where English, I swear to God, Mercury retrograde is coming right now. I feel the effects of it already. There's already people who are popping up from the past too. Besides the point. Anywho, moving on. But all I know is that I was surrounded by spirits from the minute I came out, all right, or before I came out. And I have a very close-knit tie to my ancestors and into my spirit guides and stuff like that. But right now, you know, in this lifetime, I'm having to build that relationship back up, getting to know them again, remembering, because it's all about really, you know, the awakening process is all about remembering who you really are, where you came from, not like where you were born on this earth. I'm talking about before you came into this world, before you were created in a physical form, you know, because before you were created into a physical form, you were just energy, you were just ever flowing, you were constant, you were, you know, you were around in a soul wise, but and you could have been living past lives in a different vessel and different body, but that's besides the, that's like going really deep into it. But growing up, I've had a lot of paranormal experiences, things that I couldn't explain at the time, things that really terrified me. So starting from when I was born and having, of course I'm not going to remember that, I'm just a baby, I'm an infant, I'm not going to remember like people talking in my room. However, I do have like memories. I remember as a kid, I was very, when I first got my memories, it was fairly young, and one thing for sure is that I started talking very young. I started walking very young, apparently. I was just a very advanced kid, and I'm not saying that to like say that I'm better than anyone. That's not the case. However, those that are light workers, or those that are empaths, or those that have these gifts, which is everybody, but those that are in tune, you know, they kind of deal with being more advanced, ahead of the game, you know what I mean? They're not really, it depends on the person or the soul or the journey, but however, a lot of light workers tend to be a little bit more advanced because they are older souls, right? It's not like technically their first go around here. So even though that they're physically in a body where it's their first time being born into this world, however, on a soul level, it's already been here and back, you know. It really depends on the individual journey. It depends on each person's story. Each person's story is different. I'm just talking about mine. But for me, I was a very advanced kid, a little bit ahead of the game, reading very soon, just advanced, right? And the thing is that that came with a lot of bullying, a lot of isolation, a lot of, you know, just experiences that I am grateful for having, like lesson wise. It was not so nice when it was happening, but kids and all that, or people, when they don't understand something, they tend to fear it, right? So those that are not understood as much, like for per se, like those that have abilities, right, they can be feared, right, because they're not able to understand you, right, on that level. They're not on your level vibrationally in order to understand, and that's okay, because everyone is on a different part of their journey. It's not up to me or the other person to judge one another. Like I always say, the only people who really should be judging is the divine, is the creator. Other than that, like, it's not my place to judge someone just because they're different, right? But we don't understand that at a young age. That's something that we're trying to figure out as we grow older. However, a lot of people with abilities tend to be subjugated to ostracizing or condemning in any type of way, because those around them may not understand them. And I'm not saying that it's validated that these people were okay to treat you in that way. I'm not saying that. And their actions, there will be karma for their actions, you know. But I'm talking about those that made you feel less than for your abilities. Just yes, it's hard. Like in order, like you want to get upset at them because you know you feel alone. However, I want you to learn to forgive, because that's something that I am practicing, is that they tell me forgive them for they do not know. Okay, people who do not understand this journey, who do not understand your journey, are not meant to. You are the one that's supposed to understand your own journey. Okay, they're the ones that are supposed to understand their journey, right? It's more of a nicer way that spirit likes to say is stay in your lane, right? So like I said, these abilities, they were not something that I was proud of in the beginning. Okay, it was something that I was very ashamed of. It's something that I rarely shared with others. I'm sure you guys heard this story, and I'm sure this resonates to you, but I just kind of closed down and shut down my abilities so much because I let other people's judgment of me control my beliefs and, you know, how I run my life. You know what I mean? Or who I choose to be with, or choose to love, who I choose to surround myself with. I was allowing for people outside of myself to control that instead of myself, you know. But for sure I was ashamed of them, and it's something that I did not praise. And those that I did share with, as far as ability wise, I would be quite 11-11. I would be quite judged for it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of divine feminines also relate to being judged from your counterpart, you know what I mean, and vice versa, divine masculines as well, but feeling like not understood for your abilities or for the information or for what you're feeling, you know, until you actually find that soul tribe or those soul people that are soulmates, like I like to call, which can be friends, family, place or thing, hobby, whatever it may be, whatever makes your heart soar with happiness. The things that you resonate with, the things that bring you life, not death. Those are the people for you. Those are the people that are meant to understand you. Those are the people that are meant to walk with you through life, whether friend, family, or animal, whichever it may be, right? So for me, a lot of this, I'm only touching bases on the beginning a little bit. I don't want to make this too long of a thing, right? But one thing for sure is that I will start talking a little bit more about my paranormal experiences growing up. One last thing I will touch bases on that really struck me as far as my clairvoyancy was when I was younger. I was around 6 or 7 years old, and this was very significant to me. This was during a time where I was having this was the start of a cycle that I was dealing with. This was a massive tower moment for me. I was losing family members, people that were important to me in this lifetime. Also dealing with my sexual assaults at the time from a young age. So I was dealing with a lot of different things. That was I would call them tower moments or pivotal moments that started this cycle that we are ending currently right now as we speak. But this is when my world was rocked, and we just moved as well to a brand new city, and I was going to a brand new school. Not only that, I was dealing with anxiety, and I was not understanding of why I was having these anxieties or these certain abilities, or why I can see and hear things that a lot of people were not. So this place particularly that we went to, I give you a little background. It was not in a so good area. It was in a very rough area. It was an area where they are developing the neighborhood, and then they're bringing in new, it's like a program where they bring in new families and new people in order to live in a certain amount of time inside this place. It's kind of like I forgot what that program is called, but if you guys know what that program is called, where you stay a certain amount, it's not renting. It kind of is like renting. I'm just going to say renting, right? But it's a total different program where I'm at right here and what they call it. But it was not in a good neighborhood. Anybody that's around from where I know, they know. It's it was, you know, I can't complain. The thing is that there's things and places out there that are worse than that, and I'm not comparing my experiences to other people, because I feel like people should not compare or feel like their experiences is worse than other people or any of that matter. I really don't support that. However, I cannot complain because I am grateful for what I have. I am grateful for the experiences that I did have, and I am grateful that I was able to experience the lowest of the low, and the highest of the high, as far as like life goes here on this earth. However, the only direction I can go is to keep going up further. But as I was saying, that this place, this neighborhood, it was on the rise. They were trying to fix it. They were 1515. They were trying to fix it. They were trying to upkeep it, but it just didn't go as planned. It just kind of went downhill quickly after that, and unfortunately we only stayed there for not long. It was like a year or two. It wasn't long, so it wasn't that bad, right? But there was just like, it was an area where there was like a lot of kidnappings, murders, rapes, crack houses, shootings, you name it. I had a friend who also lost a sister, unfortunately. And I remember that a friend of mine lost a sister. And I'm not trying to laugh. It's just I'm now realizing that, damn, like, this place was not a nice place. It was a very toxic place. And not to mention, there was just people and neighbors that were just not so kind. I'm just remembering glass being thrown at my head and shit. Like, oh my god. Oh my goodness, yes. Anywho, as I was saying, this place right here was built on top a not only native burial grounds, but it was also built on top of an old bar. It used to be an old bar, a tavern or whatever, and there used to be a lot of shootings and murders there, so in the back of the alley. And yeah, so there's a lot of activity that was there. There was a lot of spirits that were just really lost souls that were there. And then there was a mixture of course, my spirit guides, but I didn't know about that back then, right? But that is one of the places that had a lot of activities growing up for such a short amount of time. And it was, I remember one time going into the office, which was upstairs, and we had all the bedrooms upstairs, including the bathroom. The rest of the kitchen and the living room and all of that was downstairs, right? So we're on the very top floor, and that's where I'm getting ready for school, correct? And as I'm getting ready for school, doing my hair, I'm ironing, and on my ironing board we have a mirror, and it's just a little mirror, a little cosmetic thing. And I just was checking myself out in the mirror, just doing my hair, you know, this little tiny mirror of mine. And one thing for sure is that as I was looking at myself, I looked behind me, and there was an African man that was dressed in all traditional wear. And now I feel like this is one of my ancestors that are actually from Nigeria, from my actual roots. But at the time I didn't understand, but it was a man that was looking straight back at me and was staring at me. And mind you, spirit, they don't really like move their mouth or talk, so it was just more of like a stare. But it wasn't a scary thing. It just shook me because it just took me by surprise. It was like one of those jump scares in the movie that you see out of nowhere, 1818. But just out of nowhere, that it shook me, and I just remember screaming and crying and running out that mug so fucking fast that Speedy Gonzalez out that bitch. Like, I was done. I was gone. And I was like, yeah, I cannot go in this office by myself. Like, I can't. And there's like certain rooms or certain areas within the house. And the thing is I feel like I want to get my sister to come in and talk on this channel a little bit, because we do have experiences that are shared amongst one another. And for sure, there's a certain room or a certain spirit that likes to follow our family, particularly our parents. So each time we move to any location or area, their bedroom is an area that you can definitely feel so much energy in that area. It's a place where I don't feel comfortable sleeping in, and that's kind of harsh to say, but my parents know this already, right? Hi, Mom. But their room has always freaked me and my sister out. Like, just we know that there's something in there, but it's something that hasn't really presented itself physically or manifested itself physically in a way where we can see it, but we definitely feel it, my sister and I, because she also has abilities as well. She's actually more clairvoyant than I am. She can see auras, she can see many different things than I am. I'm more of a clairaudient, more clairsentient. I'm working more of like on my clairvoyancy, but that's totally different, right? But yeah, so there's like certain areas in the room. Of course, the office always tends to be a hot spot of an area, and of course my bedroom. Growing up, I didn't realize why I had so much activity going on, especially when I'm sleeping in my bedroom. But that was just mainly like my spirit guides and stuff, and my soul tribe, my soul family, you know, watching over me as I sleep. So now as I'm older and I'm sleeping now and I sleep in my room, I'm not like afraid of that anymore. Like I just wake up in the middle of the night. By the way, so if you wake up in the middle of the night between like the hours of 2 to 5 a.m., that's pretty much like what they back then they would call it the witching hour, but I call it more of like more of a download out like hour where you're able to pick up on information, dreams, or information, or just downloads. And I suggest to write down anything that comes to mind the minute you wake up during those hours. A lot of people do experience waking up between the hours of like 2 to 5 a.m. I know I do. Like it's like a constant basis every morning. I wake up with downloads. The thing is that I don't necessarily write. I should be writing a lot more of my thoughts. However, they are saying right now that myself included, and to everyone who is listening, to really start writing down in a journal. Like find a journal. And the thing is, like I'm using this right here, which is my Book of Shadows. Find something that you know love, or to write in, and really like write down your dreams that come to mind when you wake up in the morning, because we tend to forget them as the day goes by, which is fine. But the dreams that particularly you remember after waking up are really a message that you need to pay attention to. The dreams that you don't really like remember are it's just, chances are you're probably astral projecting going somewhere. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, not only that, not only was I dealing with the clairvoyancy, symptoms of seeing spirits around, and weird activities that happen at night, especially within my sleep. I would also have weird dreams. Like I said, I would have dreams of natural disasters. I would have dreams of things that would happen in the future. But telling that to a 7-year-old, I didn't understand that. I just thought that there was just scary things happening all around me that I couldn't explain. And I would run, cry, scream, just get sick, like, and I was attracting in really negative energy into me. I was manifesting negative things into my life without realization. And that's the thing, unfortunately, that a lot of us deal with, is before the awakening, that you start to realize all these negative patterns and things that you kind of manifested yourself into your life, as far as energy wise. And it took me some bit of time to really start like clearing all of that out. I'm still currently clearing that out as well. But overall, like I have a lot of paranormal experiences for days. Oh my gosh, but it's for this one, I'm going to start at the beginning, where I'm going to go where I'm at my youngest. And that was between the ages of when I was born to when I was 7 years old. 7 is a significant number for me as well. 7 is very significant for me. It also represents spiritual awakening. It also represents, 7 is a very sacred number. Let's just say that. And there's a reason why they use it as a lucky number. There's a reason why there's, the connotation of 777s and casinos, representing wealth or abundance, joy, all of that is quite significant. But that was the reason why I say 7 is significant, because that was the start of a cycle that started at that age that lasted all the way until this age that I'm at right now, which is why I touch bases a little bit of why the planetary systems and the different portals are very important to learn, and the different moon phases are important to learn, so that you're not lost and you're not walking around like a chicken with its head cut off, like freaking out, like, why am I feeling this way? Why is this happening to me? Why am I this? Why am I that? You know, you won't really question yourself as much anymore. And that requires you to go within. It requires you to seek guidance within. It requires you to be open-minded and to be receptive in order to gain that knowledge, those downloads from spirit. And like I said, it's all about building that relationship back up with your spirit guides, with your spirit team. And you know, they love you. They've been there like since day one, since before you've been there. They are there after you leave, you know, to welcome you. They are there, period, 24/7. You are never alone, okay? And not in a creepy weird way, but in a way where you are loved, you are cared for, you are protected, you are sought after, you are loved, okay? Unconditionally loved. And spirit, that's all that they want to teach us, is the value within ourselves, learning the value within, in order to bring that into fruition into the 3D, you know, because it starts from the 5D and then bringing it down to the 3D. As above, so below. As within, so without. So for me, if you guys are experiencing things or coming across this, you're experiencing things that you can't explain, and then there are those that doubt you or just really not support you or find you weird or ostracize you or put you down for the gifts and abilities that you have, I just want you to know that you are more than enough. You are worthy. You are a beautiful soul, okay? You are recognized. There are people and tribes and soul family out there that are waiting to meet you, that are waiting to embrace you, that are waiting to help heal within your journey, you know. But it does start with you. It starts with you recognizing your worth. It starts with recognizing that you are not just weird. And there's nothing wrong with being weird, okay? Like, weird is a fun thing. And I always tell people, you know, normal is cool, right? But there's really nobody who's actually normal. Like, what is normal? Can you define what normal is? Right? Normal is subjective. It depends on the perspective of the person. Each person's experience is different. What one thing may be to someone else may be another thing to someone completely different, right? So it's with this type of thing, it makes you realize that there are a lot of people within your life that tend to be a little bit more closed off, closed-minded, and that's okay. It's because they actually fear it. And like I said, which you can't understand, you tend to fear. That's just how human nature is. It's just how we are. That includes everything. That includes love. If you are not accustomed to love or unconditional love, you're going to fear it and run away. Hence why divine masculines run away, or divine feminines. Or just people in general, or people run away from, you know, it doesn't have to be like basic fears of like spiders or heights or anything. It could be a fear of commitment, fear of anything. If you don't understand it, you don't have a full grasp of it, then you fear it, you know, you're scared of it. You have to be, there's some people that really has to be like 100% sure, you know, before jumping in. And that's why I really love skeptics. You know, the thing is that a lot of people, like, there's this war between skeptics and between spiritual people, or between, you know, I feel like we need both. We need both, right? But the thing is that we are going to be seeing a flux of people who are waking up spiritually, that are kind of like, you know, waking up to the notion that everything they were programmed to believe hasn't been true their whole life. And that can be a very shattering experience when you find out that everything that you thought you believed in before your awakening, it was a lie. And I'm not saying everything was a lie, but like most of it is, right? So finding that out, I don't blame skeptics. I don't blame them, because, you know, it's them. It's their life. If they don't want to believe your experiences and stuff like that, that's okay. You know, you should respect their, you know, their beliefs too. You know, if they don't believe in this type of stuff, then that doesn't mean you should respect them less. You should respect them just as equally, right? Everyone walks a different path. Some people are not meant to be awakened. There are people here that are just meant to live a 3D human experience and to stay within the ego state and just live their life and die like that. That is exactly what their soul came here to live. Then there are souls that came here to really like help raise the vibration of the planet, those that come here to wake up. There are those that come to wake every single time they're in their life. It just depends on what your soul signed up to do, okay? A lot of people don't believe in spiritual or soul contracts, but I sure as hell do. And I believe that everything there's a reason behind everything. There is no coincidences. There really isn't. There is a spiritual meaning towards everything. It really is. But we've been living in this life of 3D, of ego. We are souls that are not, you know, from here. We're from other places. We're from other galaxies, other star constellations, other places, you know. I know for sure as hell I am. I know that this is not my first go around on Earth, so it's just waking up and remembering who I was on a soul level, who I am. Who am I? And that's something that I want you guys to ask yourself. Who are you? Not like where you're from, what your name is. Yeah, that's cool. We know that. However, who are you? Where's your origins? Trace back to not only like your lineage, right? People like to do a family tree, but trace further back. Trace even further. Trace like further than that. Like go deep, like go within. You'll find a lot of information that you probably didn't even know existed. In fact, you probably do know exists on a soul level, but for this lifetime, it's something new for you, right? For this human experience. However, it's to those that this is not your first go around, you finding out information, you having an awakening, this is all not new. This is something that you've done plenty of times, which is why, you know, we have talks of deja vu, the notion of deja vu, which is very real. Deja vu is very real. So deja vu is just another way of saying that if you recall in your past lives, it's just you recalling a past life. That's pretty much. There's more depth that goes into it. There's more of an explanation, but to sum it as a whole, when you have deja vu, you're pretty much recalling your past lives. So yes, to those that have experiences, like I encourage you to share it down in the link below. I really do. I welcome anyone that wants to share their experiences in a healthy and a positive manner, right? But definitely for sure, I welcome anyone to share their experiences in the comments below. For now, I'm just going to end it at this. There's so much experiences that I've had, but I just wanted to get on here. Spirit wanted me to send a little bit messages to say be aware of the energies that are going on right now. I was experiencing a couple of tower moments just recently, and I've experienced a lot of shakeups. Oh my gosh. A lot of emotional tears, a lot of anger, a lot of purging. So like I said, when we're going to Scorpio season, a lot of shadow work, a lot of things in the past being brought back up, especially with Mercury retrograde. And of course, you know, with the sexual energy in the air that we're all feeling, that's totally normal as well. But anywho, be aware, protect your energy. Yeah, there might be some entities or I would have to say those that do not want to see you succeed in your journey, that kind of want to hold you back, like karmics, I would say. I would focus on trying to clean out people, places, and things again that are not serving you on this journey any longer. That is exactly what's going to be presented to you, especially with Mercury retrograde. It's up to you if you want to reconcile with those or things that was in the past for you. Whether it be like, it doesn't even have to be toxic. It could be positive. It could be like an idea that didn't work out, like a business idea that didn't work out in the past, and then Spirit's calling you to try again and to not give up and to just try another again, because the experience could be completely different, right? It's that mindset of reminding yourself, you know, getting rid of that pessimistic mindset of what if things go wrong? No, like what if things can go right? Right? So, and also with the procrastination, there's a lot of procrastination in the air, myself included. Oh, procrastinating like crazy. But this full moon in Aries and all that, all the way to Scorpio, new moon, we're going to be experiencing, like I said, another surge of energy to push you to do the things that you are supposed to be doing as far as that goes. But the procrastination, like a lot of people, like there's a saying that says, those that procrastinate because they fear failure. And that's true. If you're procrastinating on something that you know that you're supposed to be doing, not out of like obligation, but you know that it's something that's going to better your soul, that's something that's going to better your journey, that's going to put you on a better path, and you're procrastinating on it, just know that it's a stem root from fear of failure, fear of things not going the way that you want it to. It's learning to release the expectations of the outcomes and learning to accept what is, and to continue to keep living in the present moment, to continue to be grateful for the things that you do have in your life right now, because the things that you do want to come into your life, that you do want to manifest, will come to you, but it's in divine timing. It's not in ego timing, okay? I just want to remind people that. But you are on the right path, especially if you've been seeing synchronicities like 1111 or 333 or 999, 919, you know, animal spirits, a lot of cats, butterflies, dragonflies. Another symbol that I'm seeing of an animal is a fox that has been popping up quite often. But like I said, like bluebirds and everything like that. If you are guided to know what type of animals that you've been viewing or kind of relate to seeing animals, that's kind of like, I talked about that in my previous video, so I will link that in the link below. But anywho, I am tired. I'm going to get some rest. This full moon has knocked the wind out of me. I am so tired. It feels like I cannot catch up on sleep as much as I can. But know that that's normal. There's people who are emotional or going through emotional roller coasters, but that's needed. It's needed to be purged. But I'm wishing you nothing but love and light on your journey. Remember, you're not alone. There's people out there who can relate to you in your journey, and that they, you know, don't be afraid. I know that it's easier said than done, especially when things are happening to you and it's just weird things that you can't explain and it really freaks you out. Just know that there are people out there who have had some experiences, some weird fucked up experiences too, just like you. So just know that you are not completely alone in this world, and then there are people who do understand, okay? However, to each its own. Each journey is different, and to keep pushing, okay? Do not give up. Keep going, keep fighting, keep I know you guys want to give up. There's that sense of should I stay or should I go type of energy. Should I give up or should I just keep going? Keep going, okay? Spirit is making that very clear. Keep pushing, keep going. I know even if you're crawling on your knees and you are crying, please just keep going, okay? And you are doing great. You are doing fine. You are where you need to be perfectly on this journey. Don't feel pressure of all the things that you know you have to get done. Just take things one at a time, okay? That's all you can do. Just take it one at a time. So like I said, live in the present moment. Love you guys. See you guys in my next video. Peace.